But it's headcanon that Robin Williams has starred in every movie ever since Enchanted.
Yeah, I mean, his first movie, of course, being Save It Private Ryan.
Obviously, but really, I think Doctor Dolittle and Flubber might be one of the best cameos of all time.
Yeah, I remember when Flubber turned into a talking black guy.
He could talk to animals. Don't
And
forget.
then, do you remember when Flubber turned into that donkey, and then he went, "I'm making waffles,"
No,
and
dude,
then
yeah, no. And then the donkey's best line is when he says, "Onions have layers."
yeah, dude, and then he takes an axe and he breaks through the door, and he goes, "Here's Johnny."
Dude, yeah, honestly, my favorite scene from Shining is the scene with the donkey.
Yeah, and then you remember when the donkey, he takes the day off, and then he takes his dad's Ferrari out for a spin,
Dude, oh
and then
my
they go to a
gosh.
museum,
Yeah, dude, but the
and
part with the
and then it's like
parade
and it's
with
like they're
Robin
skipping
Williams.
school. Yeah, man,
Yeah,
I
but
remember
what
that.
what about that superhero movie where they fight crime with a dog? It's called Wilfred. Yeah, that's a good movie.
Yeah, dude, I love Wilfred. Remember when that dog runs around in the field, and sh the dog is an old lady, and it's the Sound of Music?
Yeah, that's Gran Torino.
Dude, Gran Torino is my favorite uh, Jake Gyllenhaal movie.
Dude, yeah, but it's not as good as Robin Williams in No Country for Old Men.
Dude, No Country for Old Men famously stars Woody Allen as a rapist. Just like in any of his films, he is a rapist. And then
Yeah,
he talks to a little girl, and it's To Kill a Mockingbird because he's Atticus Finch.
I think Woody Allen also plays a rapist in Star Wars Rogue One: Return of the Rogue One.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
That's
And
it. That's
then
all you
remember
got for me.
well,
That one just broke you.
I don't know. I haven't seen that movie, so I don't know. But and then the Rogue One, instead of getting in the X-wing, they get into the DeLorean, and then they go all the way back to Jurassic Park.
And they make Mandalorians.
Yeah, so that's how we link Jurassic Park and Star Wars and Back to the Future all together. But
Dude, I
let's not
think you're
forget that
forgetting
it's
you're forgetting one key movie that is in this
Schindler's
quad.
List. I was getting to it.
Exactly.
I was getting to
See,
Schindler's
and
List.
also, but the prequel to Schindler's List was Boy in the Striped Pajamas.
Okay. So speaking of Boy in the Striped Pajamas, that and Benjamin Button are all linked, but it's from the same people that did The Godfather.
Oh, dude, yeah. Honestly, I like The Godfather, but I really like Robin Williams and Goodfellas more.
Well, I mean, you
Robin
can't
Williams
you
was good
can't
in
talk
both
you can't
movies.
talk about Goodfellas without talking about the Tin Man in Wizard of Oz. Come on.
Okay, okay. I mean, you got me there, but still, if we're talking Goodfellas and The Wizard of Oz, really, you got to throw in Iron Giant because he's up there, man.
Well, I mean, you cannot talk about Iron Giant without talking about the best animated movie of all time, Inside Out.
You're right, but still, I think the best anime of all time has to be Brave Little Toaster.
Dude, the Brave Little Toaster pulls on heartstrings, don't get me wrong, but nothing is as good as King Kong. That bitch ripping his heart right out of his chest and throwing it at that girl and smashing her to the ground.
Yeah,
Almost.
I think King Kong's role in Tarzan was a better cameo. However,
Well, I mean, Tarzan, he's so. He takes too much of his own role because, that guy, he starred in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
but
part
when
with
that guy showed up and he was playing the cook in Mortal Kombat that
Really gonna
cooked
get
up
your mic shut again.
Fievel
you're
Goes
cut,
West.
you're cutting out so bad. We got like 7 words out, so they were all just
Well,
randoms.
That
okay.
really got me.
Well, you got Fievel goes west. You got that little rat, but that rat sneaks into Jaws and just gets eaten by the shark. So that movie doesn't even matter. You don't even need to watch it,
Yeah, but what about Ernest is Christmas, yo?
dude.
Ernest Goes to Christmas, dude. Come on, best anime of all
Ernest,
time.
I love. You cannot forget about that line where he goes, "I'll be back," and then he becomes the governor of California.
Dude, honestly, that's Ernest's best accomplishment in life, really. But still, I think he was better in the Griswolds' Family Vacation. Ernest played a really good role in that one.
Isn't that where they got the inspiration to become Iron Man?
Yeah, but I think before that, they actually cast Robert Downey Jr. as Thor, and the movie was great.
Well, yeah, they put Robert Downey Jr. as Thor, but it was really hard for him to do Thor because he was also doing Casino Royale because he's James Bond, of course.
Yeah, I mean, Robert Downey Jr. does a good James Bond, but I still think Eddie Murphy was probably the best James Bond after Flubber, of course.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got Flubber that can do basically any James Bond, whatever you want. But didn't you have Jack Nicholson who was in Flubber? Also, he did. I think he was in that movie where it's you killed my father, you prepared to die, inconceivable. Oh yeah, Jack Nicholson in The Princess Bride. That's right.
Yeah, dude, there you go. Princess Diaries. Yeah, Jack Nicholson did great in that. However, however, I think Jack Nicholson's best role might be Inspector Gadget.
Oh, dude, he's got that big old fucking black dildo, go gadget black dildo, and then he puts it right up uh,
Oprah
Jennifer
Winfrey.
Nelson's ass.
Oh, that's who it
And
was.
then he has the dildo up her ass and controls her, and then he becomes Ice Cube, and they play Boys in the Hood, of course, with Cuba Gooding Jr.
Oh shit, dude! Cuba Gooding Jr. is so good in Neighbors with Seth Rogen.
Yeah, that's a good one, dude. Remember when they do all of those musical numbers? Seth Rogen starts doing West Side Story.
Yeah, that was James Franco and Cats, the Broadway musical.
Yeah, totally. And then there's the Cats musical, there's the Lion King musical, and then of course there's the Silence of the Lambs musical. You can't forget that one.
Dude, that
He
honestly,
puts the lotion on his skin or else it gets the hose again. You know what I'm saying?
it's such a great wholesome family fun. I just it's next level. But really, let's go back to Jack Nicholson because really, I think Jack Nicholson broke the mold in his role in Toy Story, man.
Well, I mean, he did really good in Toy Story 2, but he also did really, really good in, Titanic. I don't know how it took him, why he never got uh, an Oscar for his leading role against Kate Winslet in Titanic. I don't get it.
I think Kate Winslet was good in Titanic, and they both deserve that. However, I think Kate Winslet's better role was Inception.
Ah, dude. Uh, Inception was a little too mild of a movie. Its plot was a little too straightforward, which is really, really why I prefer watching my favorite American animated show of all time, Ghost in the Shell.
You're right. You're right. However, picture this: Samuel L. Jackson's role in The Great Gatsby. Next level, dude. It was way ahead
He
of its
played the
time.
bitch, right? He played the bitch that
Yeah,
got
he played. He played the chick that gets beat by her husband.
right, and then that girl plays all of the zombies in Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, and then Hot Fuzz. She's also the main character of that movie.
Okay, and then Hot Fuzz has Eddie Murphy in it, who of course played the black guy in Dazed and Confused.
Mm-hmm. But also, Eddie Murphy was also the white guy in Trading Spaces. Trading Places. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, Trading Places. That is a good one. Um, you know, almost as good as Michael McDouglas's work in Blazing Saddles.
I think that one was good, but really his role in Blades of Glory was better.
Dude, Blades of Glory. That is a movie that has. I was gonna say his actual name for. He had, as a main role. Who's the
Napoleon Dynamite.
the drummer in Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh yeah, the main character
Yeah.
Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, exactly. He also was in Superbad.
Oh yeah, he's the cop, right?
Yeah, exactly. And he does all the funny voices. He does all the bleep bleep noises.
Yeah, exactly. Just like RoboCop.
Just like RoboCop. RoboCop very famously, again, looping back here a little bit, he did "I'll be back," and then, uh, you know, RoboCop he downloads the new program, and then he says, "I see dead people," and it's actually the Naked Gun.
Oh, dude, that one was really good. Almost as good as Lethal Weapon 6.
I'm running pretty fucking low here, man.
I don't know, I think we've named like every movie ever made.
Scarface.
Oh, dude, well, I mean, Scarface was good, but really, it's nothing next to Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah, dude, Emperor's New Groove, who very famously has not
Seth MacFarlane.
not only the real actors are coming to mind.
No, dude, it's Seth MacFarlane. He's also the main character of the Jimmy Neutron movie.
Yeah, and in Jimmy Neutron, he is also a part of Fast Times at Ridgemont High, which is
Yeah. Isn't that the movie about it's similar to Sky High, like they're superheroes and it's a Disney movie and they all go to
Black Hawk
school and
Down.
fight crime. Yes, Black Hawk Down, dude. This movie, did we kill you? You want to contribute anything here? Have we missed any movies? Oh yeah, dude. Honestly, I think just to bring this all full circle.
No, keep going.
Big Mama's House, easily the best movie ever created.
Big Mama's House?
Because Jim Carrey's role in it was amazing, almost as good as Oprah Winfrey's role in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
All right, Oprah Winfrey in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind has nothing on Queen Latifah's role in Lawrence of Arabia.
That is a good one. However, I think Tobey Maguire as Captain America, that's probably one of the best acting roles I've ever seen.
I mean, I cannot believe that they got a big old buff Tobey Maguire to play Captain America when they got the fucking skinny twig-like Chris Hemsworth to play fucking Cyborg. Like, what is that shit?
Yeah, dude, they casted the same guy that plays Cyborg. He's Green Goblin in every Spider-Man movie, dude. Even the old ones.
Yeah, and they tried to get Steve Buscemi to play Green Goblin, but he was too busy winning Oscars for like The Grapes of Wrath.
Isn't Steve Buscemi Isn't Steve Buscemi the guy that plays Caesar in Planet of the Apes?
Yes, exactly. He did the mocap for Caesar. And at the same time, while he's in the mocap suit, they got him to do Godzilla as well.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so Steve Buscemi is Caesar and Godzilla, and he does a lot of different mocap.
Honestly, Will Ferrell and Samuel L. Jackson in Rush Hour 2, man, some of the best duo acting of all time.
Yeah, dude. There's no joke about that. Reminds me a lot of the duos of fucking Robert De Niro and John Cusack in The Lion King.
Dude, no, we've been to The Lion King already.
Have we? Raiders of the Lost Ark.
There you go. Yeah, dude, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Honestly, Robert De Niro was really good in Raiders of the Lost Ark. However, I think his role in Spaceballs might have been better.
Dude, so Spaceballs also had Steve Buscemi in it, and Steve Buscemi is very famously a body actor for Ryan Gosling, who was, of course, in Fargo.
Yeah, but really, I think Steve Buscemi's best acting role, it might have to be how he's in every episode of Black Mirror, and he really just brings them all together.
Yeah, it's kind of like he's in every episode of Black Mirror, similar to how there's aliens in South Park.
Exactly.
And of course, all of the aliens are a reference to the Amy Adams in Enchanted.
Yeah, dude, it's just like Inuyasha. Also, I think Steve Buscemi was the main actor in all of the Mr. Bean movies.
Yeah, he was the funny guy in
And Mr. Bean goes to Vegas. Yeah, dude.
Yeah. And the guy who did the magic in that was an allusion to him, of course, being the main character in all of the Harry Potter movies.
Damn.
Ron Weasley.
Yeah, dude. The guy that plays Ron Weasley, really, he's a good Ron Weasley, but I think his role in Swingers was a better fit.
I don't know. Swingers had some people in it, and they could have done their roles a little bit better. There was that guy Buster Keaton. That old comedian. He snuck his way into that movie.
Yeah, it's the guy
He
that
was
plays
really
Flash
good at
Gordon.
Flash Gordon, but more importantly, he was in Boogie Nights.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, I mean, he was good in Boogie Nights, but I think he might be better in Jeepers Creepers. The
Dude,
second one,
Jeepers
obviously.
Creepers? Dude, I don't give a fuck about Jeepers Creepers when a movie
Whoa.
like The Shawshank Redemption exists. Like,
I mean, you got a good point, but like, what about his role in The Green Mile?
I don't know. Like Green Mile. Green Mile's a good movie. It's not. Dude's best work. Uh, Train Spotting is a little more advanced for most people to
True.
understand.
I mean, Forrest Whitaker is really good in Train Spotting. However, I think Forrest Whitaker might be better as the main character of 8 Mile.
Dude, yeah, and his name is Little Black Rabbit.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. And then he can't do any raps because of course he's black and black rabbits can't rap. So that's why he turned religious and he became the exorcist.
Yeah, dude. He's also in the movie Nicolas Cage directed, Passion of the Christ.
Yeah, dude, Passion of the Christ, which of course has Jesus on the cross, and
Forrest Whitaker is Jesus in that. Yeah.
yeah, Forrest Whitaker is Jesus, and then of course, anytime there's a cross in a movie, that's a reference to Passion of the Christ, which little do they know that there's a secret sequel to Passion of the Christ. Of course, it's called The Breakfast Club. I don't know if you've ever heard of that
Holy
movie.
shit, dude! I almost forgot about that.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
But I mean, really, fucking Passion of the Christ into Breakfast Club is quite a segue. Like those movies, just man, the way they segue them into each other is amazing. There's so much good exposition there. However, I think the writing for the exposition on Ant-Man into Spider-Man Homecoming that might be better because they cast Jim Carrey as the new Spider-Man in the next one.
Yeah, so Jim Carrey's the new Spider-Man, but he only got that job because of his role of Winnie the Pooh in the new Christopher Robin.
See, I wasn't a huge fan of the new Christopher Robin movie, but I mean, he did play a good role in The Meg.
Nah, the Meg, I forgot about that one. That's the one that's the one that's a sequel after all of the Fast and the Furious movies, right?
Yeah, it's got the shark
Okay.
from Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, really, I think the main character from Fast and the Furious, the bald guy, his best role is Crank Fully Loaded.
Yeah, yeah. Crank Fully Loaded, which of course, with a name like Crank, it's of course about sex. And
Yeah,
it's actually the secret 50 Shades movie that nobody knew.
yeah. I thought that was widely
Is that
known
is
canon
that
that
common
was
knowledge?
yeah, it's common knowledge that is the prequel to 50 Shades.
I felt like they hit it pretty well, but
It was, but they foreshadowed it quite a bit.
okay. Well, I don't know. Those are all
That's
those are
it.
all good ones, but you know, you can't talk about listing movies off randomly without talking about the Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Well, I think you make a good point, but I think the polar bear in that movie plays a better role in the Polar Express.
Oh yeah, dude, The Polar Express is of course a famous movie with trains, and you can't talk about a train movie without talking about Zootopia.
Honestly, I think the best movie starring a train has to be either Fight Club or Saving Private Ryan.
Okay, well, we've already talked about Saving Private Ryan, but let's talk about Fight Club for a little bit. So the bar of soap that starred in Fight Club
Mm-hmm.
was actually Bill Murray in disguise, and Bill Murray, of course, stars in Despicable Me as all of the minions. Right? You following me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, fun fact for you: Bill Murray actually does the motion capture for E.T.
Yeah.
I believe he's also the main character of The Matrix and The Matrix Fully Loaded. However, they brought in Forrest Whitaker again as the main character of the final Matrix.
Interesting. So the final Matrix, by which you mean the first movie in the Transformers line of movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Of course, which Decepticon being the main character, Decepticon being voiced by the same person who does Darth Vader in The Force Awakens.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The guy that plays Darth Vader, he's good in that, but I think his best role might be as the main character of Holes.
Dude, Holes, of course, had Tobey Maguire in it. Tobey Maguire growing up, becoming Deadpool, and then killing his idol in Deadpool, of which is John Goodman. John Goodman famously starring as Groot in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Isn't John Goodman's also the main character of Bruce Almighty, correct?
I think he was the side character that became the other movie that wasn't Evan Almighty. He was Evan.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. So it's Nicolas Cage and Bruce Almighty.
Yes, Nicolas Cage and Bruce Almighty, who did the other movie. John Goodman did Evan Almighty, and then Daniel Radcliffe coming out of that movie and then doing Get Out, which is the story of Daniel Radcliffe escaping from a room full of white people.
Which is, it's shocking, really. It's a moving movie, but
Yeah,
I think Daniel Radcliffe has a lot of good roles. But I think he did really well as the main character in The Last Samurai.
yeah, where he did Kabuki theater, and
Yeah, and all the animals are trying to escape from the zoo in Chicago, right?
yeah, and then it becomes, you go into that guy's stomach, and then
Yeah, and the whale swallows them.
yeah. Of course, the whale being a reference of Zootopia, which is leading us all the way back into The Incredibles.
The Incredibles was good, but I didn't like how The Incredibles really serves as like a past before future prequel to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I wasn't a fan of that.
Well, I mean, nobody really liked, the original movie, so of course everybody preferred the remake, which had Chris
Jason
Pratt in
Statham.
it. Yeah, we're gonna go with Jason Statham, who of course did the villain in Interstellar. Of course, the villain being just Mars. Jason Statham was Mars, and Matt Damon was on his head.
I thought he played time itself.
Oh, you could be right. That movie was a little hard to follow.
True. Honestly, it was almost as complex of a plot as 300 with Jason Statham.
Yeah, Jason Statham in 300, but that wasn't like, him acting is pretty convoluted, but it's when he directs movies that it really gets pretty complicated, like when he did Twilight.
It really, that's one of his best on directing, but I think Ratatouille is up there. Jason Statham's directing on that movie is just top notch.
It's pretty good. I mean, I don't know. For a director, he loses me a little bit. Like it gets pretty it gets pretty crazy. I can't really think too hard about it, or I get a headache. Which is why I prefer to stick to movies like The Shape of Water.
Oh, that's the prequel to Finding Nemo.
Of course, you have to know the shape of the water before you can be a fish. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. You have to fuck the fish before you find the fish. Obviously,
yeah,
that's how it works.
And then the fish become immune to the anemone, which is how we figure out what superpowers, which leads us into Avengers.
Exactly, and the way
where Nemo saves the day.
when you learn about that immunity, that's also where it splits off into the standalone movie that was a prequel to, starring Eddie Murphy, I Am Legend.
Yeah, I Am Legend, where all the robots are, and they have to escape all the things, and then the guy comes in and shoots them all, which links that in John Wick.
Honestly, man, main character of John Wick, Tobey Maguire, he's really good in Ocean's 11.
Dude, Ocean's 11, is that the one where they have to go?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah. And
Um,
then when they swim in the seventh ocean, they find the Predator.
yeah,
And
that's
the
that's the
Predator's been
one.
hunting them the whole time.
That's the one that comes right after The Mummy Returns.
Oh, dude, the Mummy Returns, where all those bugs makes me itchy. It reminds me a lot, all the bugs reminds me of Ant-Man.
See, we discussed Ant-Man already, but
Oh, damn it.
I see your point. I think the main character of Ant-Man, Tom Hardy, he's really good in The Sixth Sense.
We talked about the Sixth Sense too.
Damn it! All right, we're done here. I think, dude.
Nah, because we haven't even touched on movies like Black Panther. We haven't talked about all of the black people in Black Panther joining
Dude.
together and becoming the big robot in Pacific Rim.
Oh shit, dude! I forgot about that. That's that. The main character of that. I can't think of his name.
Oh, you're thinking of Will Smith.
Yeah, Will Smith.
He was also the lead character in the hit classic Pink Panther and the Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers.
Will Smith. Yeah, no.
Ruining it.
Will Smith also stars in X-Men, which is obviously the sequel to How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Yeah, and then How the Grinch Stole Christmas had Benedict Cumberbatch in it.
Benedict Cumberbatch is a great actor. Can we just acknowledge that? His role in Castaway as Wilson the pineapple, amazing.
Wilson the pineapple. I cannot believe they got the pineapple to cameo in Night at the Museum. Absolutely stunning.
Really, that was amazing. I think Wilson's cameo in Men in Black 2 might have been better, however.
Dude, Men in Black 2. Do you remember when they put Elsa from Frozen in Men in Black? Like, pretty crazy.
It was weird how that was like foreshadowing for the plot of Cars.
Dude, and of course, you have the plot of Cars, which of course involves more X-Men people, and then Hugh Jackman fucks the car and then has a daughter, which of course then we have Logan, which is canon to the Cars universe.
I think Mater from Cars, the one he fucked, actually is the truck being driven in the Da Vinci Code.
Okay, all right, I see what you're saying. The truck driving in the Da Vinci Code, the little turnstile puzzle thing in the Da Vinci Code. It's all linked together in the great canon that is La La Land.
Yeah, the prequel to that is Avatar.
Avatar. I didn't think about that. It's now so obvious now that I'm thinking about it.
I know, right?
You have the portals in Avatar, and then the portals in Doctor Strange. It all together.
Dude, those portals actually set them up for later down the line, so they could make The Hangover 4.
Dude, The Hangover 4. I didn't think they could get funding for that because they wasted all their funding on Tomorrowland.
Tomorrowland was good. However, I think Elizabeth Olsen played a better role in Alice in Wonderland, really.
I mean, I don't know about her role in Alice in Wonderland. It was B-list compared to her role in Mad Max.
True, but she's really good as the co-star main character in Hancock as well.
Oh, dude, I forgot about Hancock. I forgot about they had that guy. Of course, that movie is about John Hancock, who signs the rules that the British people make.
Yeah,
which eventually leads into a cat bunny creature becoming really fat and inspiring My Neighbor Totoro.
yes, exactly, and that leads into Cat in the Hat as the live-action version of My Name is Totoro. But
okay.
really, when he signs that document, that is the document that led up to Jason Statham becoming Man of Steel in the first Superman movie.
Oh, dude, it all makes so much sense now. It all makes so much sense.
I think I'm honestly out of movies.
I'm trying to piece that together, with how Jason Statham gets into Stomp the Yard. I don't understand.
They explained all that in the Hunger Games trilogy, dude. You have to pay attention to those.
Do I have to watch Pitch Perfect to understand Hunger Games?
Yeah, Pitch Perfect is the prequel to that. In addition to all of the High School Musicals, so watch those before watching the Hunger Games.
Dude, I can't. I have to watch High School Musical and the Hunger Games. I'm already in the middle of watching Batman. And of course, this being the best movie of all time, I have to take it really slow. I'm not going to be able to get to those other movies for weeks.
I mean, if you just take your time, if you need a break, like some comedy to mix it up, I think Bill Murray as Kung Fu Panda. That's a really good one.
Ah, yeah. Remember when they took the panda from Kung Fu Panda and then put his face on a dragon, and then they wrote
Yeah, it was the same dragon that was in Maleficent.
Yeah, dude. And then she's an evil bitch, and we can't have an evil bitch without mentioning
Jumanji.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Obviously.
So it's so obvious now. Jumanji leading into Dunkirk, leading into Ready Player One. It's a classic trilogy.
Isn't Dunkirk a prequel to Wonder Woman?
I mean, it might be. I felt it was more related to Ferdinand, though.
True.
Okay, I'm giving up. It's 2 a.m.
Man, I don't know. I still think the best movie in that trilogy had to be Ready Player One. That was the one right after High School Musical 3.
I just mentioned Ready Player One like
Fuck.
2 seconds ago.
We're done here. We're done here, bud.
Jesus Christ. We're doing that for like an hour?
Smoothie. Help us.
Keep going.
We just did that for like an hour. My brain is
Keep
melting.
going.
I'm done.
I'm out of movies.
Tell me you recorded that. Did you record that? Tell me you recorded that.
I'll have it up within the hour.
Lol. Dude, you missed the beginning. That's the best part, is when we started.
There were just so many movies.
Dude,
Yeah,
I think we
I'm
literally
pissed.
named every movie made